welcome to Why Do You Collect Watches podcast with Tim Wright, and I'm being joined here today with BW. BW, welcome to
nice to be
the
here,
show.
Tim. Nice to be here. Really appreciate you coming down and visiting.
Well, pleasure is all mine. I really appreciate you, letting me into your house and allowing us to take a look at your collection.
I never really set out to be a watch collector. It just happened, and you can see there's quite a few pieces and that I've collected over my whole life. I got my first significant watch as a bar mitzvah present when I was 13. This is Speedy from 1972. I think 861 movement, and that was a present when I was 13. I'm 65 now, so you can calculate that if you want to. It definitely needs a service, but I'm uncomfortable sending it to Omega because I don't want it restored. I want it just like that. But that's really how it started. My aunt gave this to me for my bar mitzvah, and I felt, you get a new watch, you get a nice piece, and you kind of feel special. I don't think she expected it to last my entire life, but it's that sort of thing. It's not something that gets consumed.
Yeah, that's the thing in watch collecting, right? A lot of people, I know me in particular, I collect because I think this is one of the few things that can last a really, really long time into the future for generations. Now that we live in this very quick and disposable world, everything is for rent.
Yeah, what do you have? What do you own that's 50 years old?
Yeah, nothing.
What does anybody own that's 50 years old? It's very unusual to have something that old and that's actually original.
It's an honest wristwatch. And if you try to replace anything, you'll be taking away from
Agreed.
the honesty.
Agreed.
There's really no rush to it. But that's what it started.
That was the first one, and I wore this. I'm 13 years old. I guess I was in junior high school, 8th grade, and I wore this every day for years.
Did anybody point out whoa, that's a nice one? Or did nobody know? This isn't
It's you wore a watch at that time. It was the late 70s and middle 70s, and people wore watches. So no, nobody saw that as anything special.
Right.
And honestly, this watch cost $220 when it was new. I was a teenager, 13 years old, and I could wear that watch. It wasn't the big honking watch at that time.
This is the watch that my brother now wants. We'll see what we could do for him.
So this was the first one. Over the course of time, I had a whole bunch of watches. At one point, I had maybe 35 watches.
Oh wow!
And in the late 90s, times were tough financially, and I sold a whole bunch of watches, kept a few of them. In the late 90s, there was the breakout from the
quartz crisis.
The quartz crisis. Yeah. So a lot of watchmakers were doing things to try and separate themselves from
the quartz,
the flood of swatches and equivalent. So there were quartz watches at the time. Do I have any of them?
Well, this watch is pretty good. The Breitling.
This is a Breitling Aerospace that I got, I think, in 1997 in Paris. Wow. It was $800, titanium and cheesy gold-plated links and.
Is it really gold-plated, or is it brass or some kind of?
It's supposed to be good. They say it's gold-plated.
They said it was gold-plated. Yeah. It's a really good watch. This titanium?
Yeah.
Because it feels.
And titanium bracelet too.
Wow! And this is a really special bracelet. I have I think they tried to remake this bracelet in the new style, but I'm shocked that it's still to this day so functional. And there's nothing wrong with this bracelet.
No, it's fine.
It's got perfect Yeah, there's no give, and because it's titanium, obviously, the head weighs nothing.
Do you hear it? Did you hear it? Push the crown in.
Oh, it's a digital minute
It
repeater.
has a minute repeater, and it has 2 time zones, an alarm, stopwatch, day and date,
Wow,
and it's all controlled by one crown.
incredible. It's like when quartz was good. I don't know how did quartz technology since then has receded back in a way, right?
I think that they're not people that make quartz watches aren't really being creative. This is a pretty creative watch.
Yes.
There's a lot going on in here, and yeah, it's a quartz watch, but it's unusual in what it does.
It's kind of a little bit like the FP Jordan Elegante. There's certain quartz watches that watch collectors right now kind of respect, and there's certain quartz watches that are looked down upon. But actually, quartz is something that could be experimented on in the near future. There could be some interesting complications that could be created with quartz.
You couldn't make a mechanical watch this small, this light, that does all of this. It wouldn't be,
It's so thin. This is wearable. This is actually like, it's it has the same weight as a Casio plastic watch, but this you can wear for 30 years.
in
Maybe
the
more.
salt water. too.
Yeah, you can wear it to anywhere. You can wear it to the Afghanistan. You can wear this into the trenches.
The way that this works too is a little unusual. You see, it has a spring.
Oh, wow.
So instead of having to do, like the little
It's
incremental
micro
micro
adjustment,
adjust,
It automatically adjusts to
automatically does it.
And the reason it can do this is because the whole watch is so
weighs
light.
nothing, yeah.
Yeah, if this was a Submariner, you would have to put the little clicks in. But this way, basically, the watch can self-adjust to whatever your wrist is that day. Brilliant. I didn't even know that.
That watch costs less than $1,000, 800 and change.
Nice. This is really, really nice. Yeah, you just have to get that cleaned off a little bit, maybe the lume that fell out of the hour hand.
Yeah,
And it would be
it needs a service, but
yeah, it doesn't need a replacement. Just kind of clean up, and that's it. Maybe this is something that you don't have to send to Breitling. Maybe some kind of a professional watchmaker can get in there with a little swab.
I'll talk to them and see.
But there's no rush. This is it doesn't affect it anything. This is just for sticklers. I personally, like, I don't have OCD, I would wear it like this as long.
Me too. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. This is another one from generally that era.
Now that's
this is a Zenith El Primero Rainbow flyback.
This is sexy, honestly.
And you could try the flyback. It does work. So, no, these are pushers. There's no, they're not screw down pushers.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that there's a little bit of power.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna wind it a little bit. So let's give it a little shake. Okay, it's running. So, are you sure it is okay, here we go.
Yeah, it says right there on there,
Fair.
flyback.
Where does it say flyback?
Underneath it doesn't say flyback.
It doesn't say. Are you sure?
I'm
Is
positive
it flyback?
it's a flyback. Positive.
It scares me. Let me check. Let me check the back. Oh, the back says it's a flyback. Okay. It says on the back.
Okay. I knew it said flyback somewhere.
Okay. So now we're going to try to fly it back. Boom! It flies back. And it's really sweet. I like the colors, the bezel, the bidirectional, like a Submariner style bezel. So it's like 2 watches in one. You got the chronograph function. You got a date. Actually, I don't even mind the date here.
It's kind of nondescript.
Okay.
It's not really sticking out.
It works because the entire watch is already
busy.
Got that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of controlled chaos going on. The bracelet, the strap, everything is brushed on this one. There's no polishing. It's very utilitarian sports watch.
They made a black only one of these. So the bezel was black and silver.
Like a Submariner.
Yeah, exactly the same coloring as a Submariner. Without the red chronograph second hand and without the colored subdial.
For a flyback chronograph,
chrono, yeah.
It's very, very thin. I can't believe how thin this watch is. Because doing a chronograph and keeping it thin is very difficult. This is perfect. There's charm to this watch, old school charm, and this is kind of like what you got here. These three watches. Zenith, the Breitling, that Omega, three old school beasts. And then you also got this one, the Bell & Ross.
So this one, before Bell & Ross actually made their own watches, they bought watches from Zinn and kind of mutually labeled them. So this watch says Bell & Ross by Zinn, and it in fact is a Zinn pure and simple with Bell & Ross's name on it.
Are you telling me that basically Bell & Ross was the Bamford of 1997? Because this
I believe so. Yes.
Right? This is what it seems like they're doing. They're saying, "Hey, we've got a design idea, and we don't have any manufacturer. Here, how about we buy 100 watches from you?" And they got Zinn to do watches according to their spec.
And when they sold this watch had a really bright red leather band.
Oh,
like it was, and at the time, late '90s, not the kind of thing that was that was around. You know, you got your diving watch on a black rubber strap or metal band, but a red leather band on a diving / pilot's watch, very unusual. It's worn out, and I got rid of it, but. This kind of stood out as, that's a different thing. That's something you don't really see. Right. They marketed to different people than were interested in Zinn. They marketed to the watch crowd, not the tool watch crowd.
Maybe they saw that there was this collector thing going on, because the watches they went on to do were very design-ish, right? They looked like those
aircraft instruments.
Helicopter instrument, fighter craft instrument, and they took that aesthetic.
And it's an interesting watch, apart from the Bell & Ross.
Oh yeah, it's got the bezel, bi-directional chronograph. It's the chronograph. Looks like it's a 7750.
It's a 7750, yeah.
But how come they did this one so thin? It amazes me how well watch manufacturers were able to make watches in the past and how they're struggling now.
And you can buy this watch new today, the same watch.
Yeah. Oh, they're still selling it?
Yeah.
By Zinn or Zinn?
By Zinn.
Zinn only.
Zinn only.
You can't get it with the Bell & Ross logo.
No.
So this makes it it's a part of history. Yeah. What made you buy this watch? Where were you?
I like the watch. It's a.
How'd you find out about it?
I don't know. I've just, at the time, so late 90s, you looked at watch forums and magazines. There was no YouTube and there was no watch community. There was forums. Watch Time was the...
And this is, you had to order this? Because even today...
I think I got this from... I may have gotten it on eBay, on eBay. That was where you bought watches then.
Even now, they're trying to reclaim the stake that they're lost with the watch enthusiasts, because of there's so many fakes now. That's
back
what
then
happened. It wasn't.
It was at the time. I mean, in the late '90s and maybe up to 2002, 2003. There were very few fakes. And if something was fake, you knew it. If you had any kind of sense of what you were doing, you knew that there's something wrong with this listing. And you wouldn't do it. But there were a lot of you would see listings with bad pictures. And you know, like they would make sure to leave out something that you knew was important. And it's like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not gonna participate with eBay purchases anymore. It's just too risky. But when I bought this one, I got it from an AD through eBay.
Wow. Historic. It's good that you didn't get rid of this one. Like you have a very nice like 90s, like late 90s collection here that translates into a lot of more modern stuff, which we're going to get to very soon. Now you have a Bell & Ross by Zinn, and then here you got the Zinn.
The Zinn by Zinn.
The Zinn by Zinn. What about this watch? When did you get
that
this?
one I got about a year ago from Federico.
Oh, Federico Talks Watches.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fed.
Shout out to Fed. That's Zinn 856, tegamented bracelet and head. Like the most no-nonsense watch there is. It's not going to scratch. It's not a flashy watch. Well, I'll put it this way. You could buy 4 of these for one Explorer 1.
You can compare it because this is what a lot of people kind of say, like the Rolex, they're a tool watch, and this is like the true tool watch. The way there's just something about this. This is built like a tank, and you'll see the Explorer is built like a luxury watch. So here we go. Let's do this unboxing.
Do the unboxing. Thank you, Timmy.
No problem. No, my pleasure. To be able to bring this beauty for you. There it is.
Beautiful.
What do you think about that?
Absolutely beautiful, Timmy.
Cushion in here.
Absolutely beautiful. Very nice. Yeah. That's my kind of watch. This sort of simple, no nonsense, easy to read.
Now, this is your second Rolex.
My second Rolex
in this collection.
Before now, I had one Rolex. I had it. It was a 34 millimeter Air King that I had for a week.
Oh, okay.
It was way too small.
Yeah.
Very nice watch.
Yeah.
It was hard to read. Silver hands on a silver dial.
Yeah.
It was a little hard to read.
That's the most legible watch, however, this Explorer 40.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more readable than that.
And looks like it's your size too.
I'm keeping this on right now.
Yeah, keep that on.
So what I took off was Blancpain Bathyscaphe gray ceramic with the blue dial and the blue ceramic liquid metal bezel.
Jeez, liquid metal.
That's what they call it. So what they do is they make they form the numerals out of metal, and then they make the ceramic around it, and it becomes all one piece.
That's why it's so sharp.
It's so sharp,
the definition,
and you can, if you feel it, you feel no seam where the numbers are.
It's perfectly seamless. Yeah, and the kind of finish they use on this watch, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is ceramic. You would think this is steel, just because of the way...
The color and the finishing.
Yeah, it's got this radial brushing that makes material look like it's steel. Impressive. And the back is titanium, or...
No, that's ceramic.
It's also ceramic?
Yeah.
Jeez. So sharp. Every corner is just... They're only able to do this with the ceramic, I'm guessing, because even steel is too soft to make this type of sharp corners.
If you tried, you could cut yourself. If you wanted to, you could cut yourself with it.
I can feel it. 300 meters water resistance. Bathy escape. When did you get this one?
I got this one maybe 6-8 months ago. I got it from our friend Eric Wind.
Eric Wind. Shout out to Eric Wind. Wow. How much did he sell this for
I think that was $7,500.
Wow. Yeah, these are great.
At retail, I think it's maybe 15, 16. It's very expensive at retail.
Yeah, the ceramic one could be like up to it's big amounts, like up to 20,000, something like that. Yeah.
But I got a great deal on that, and that's it's not the ceramic doesn't scratch. There's no flaw in that watch at all.
Right.
The band is kind of cheesy. It could use a replacement, but the watch is in great shape. This one
No.
is...
Oh, that's a Christian Ward, not on the NATO strap.
That watch cost maybe 15 times what this one costs.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty nice piece for $1,200. Sapphire bezel, very nice lume, applied markers, with I don't know if it's gold or maybe it's stainless steel around them. And this watch costs $1,200, and it's pretty nice piece for $1,200.
It's scary. It's scary how good it is, honestly. It is really... Other brands should be shaking in their boots, because how the hell can Christopher Ward make these type of watches at this low cost? It's really... It doesn't make sense. I want to know what their secret is.
I'm not going to go and buy a half a dozen Christopher Wards, but
Right.
I bought that one because I wanted to handle it, see it, know what their quality was like, and I'm pretty impressed.
It's a great beater. I think if someone who's not into watches doesn't care about the brands, this could be just as good for them as any watch here. Oh, a Seiko. This is a great Seiko. These could be even more dangerous than the Christopher Ward, because
Agreed. This is a $300 GMT with 5-link bracelet. Five links. Open case back. The 2-tone, I guess, ceramic bezel. Very nice for $300.
yeah, I'm not even sure how they did that bezel, because on the Christopher Ward, this bezel is single color, but Seiko, for less money, was somehow able to make a bezel that's bi-colored. Very interesting, and honestly, the quality on the dials is very, very close. If there's one thing that Christopher Ward does, is that it's maybe a little bit lighter. The Seiko is slightly thicker, bigger movement.
This one, this is another
the
Zenith,
Zenith
with the zooming second hand. Interesting
the
watch.
Skyline.
The watch, it kind of looks like several of the integrated bracelet pieces, much less expensive than like the IWC or the AP or something like that. But kind of similar approach. I wouldn't say it's a ripoff, but similar.
Yeah.
The band and the deployment on that one are great. Like better than the watch.
This is really high quality deployment here. Very easy to adjust as well. Nice triggers, very tactile.
That's another one that came with the bracelet and the rubber.
Quick change. Oh, this got quick change.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the quick
wow.
The quick change is really easy.
That's so easy. You can just press the button and it's out. Whoa, that's it?
That's it.
And then to put it in, it's just
It's like a seatbelt.
Wow. It's just every single brand came up with their own equally reliable way of doing quick change. This is brilliant. Early models of the Defy didn't have the quick change strap. Yeah. So this is really nice. Actually, very legible too, because the hands and the hour markers, everything is really nice and chunky. The dials got that nice star pattern. Most people use this running seconds just to tell if the watch is running, not to check. Well, what second is it? All right, so doing a 1/10 of a second counter at 9 o'clock, it's easier to see that the watch is running than if it was 60 seconds.
Yes. You don't have to wait.
Sometimes you pick up a 60 second, you have to look at it and like, oh, okay, it's moving. But this one you instantly can tell.
I could see why people wouldn't like that, but that's a nice watch.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, people who don't know, this is for people, I think, that know watches a little bit, right? They gotta Because yeah, like you said, it's got a little bit of that royal oak design, right, in the bezel, kind of integrated bracelet. But it's trying to do its own thing. But yeah, some of these latest releases from Zenith have been too close.
Yeah, some of them, like they're. It's not a question. They're definitely trying to copy something.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't run these brands, but it's got to be tough. The competition is very, very steep.
Nice quality in that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And their ceramic pieces are also really nice.
This is a Panerai radiomir with a GP movement, alarm GMT movement.
Wow.
Mechanical alarm.
So I think I remember.
Yeah, so that's how to wind the alarm.
I'll wind the alarm a little bit. Let's see here. Then we're gonna pull up the crown. We're gonna set the alarm. Oh, there it is. Wow. Let's see if you guys can hear it. So this is actually really useful if you want to set an alarm for something in a couple hours. Let's say you have something to do in 2 or 3 hours. Set it for, let's say here, I put it at 8 o'clock. Boom, wind it.
And you're done.
And I'm done. You know, when I first got the Submariner, the bezel, everybody calls this like an alarm bezel or like a timer bezel. I remember people saying, oh, it's a timer bezel. What's a timer bezel? What happens when it reaches like the triangle? Is it going to start like vibrating, ringing?
No, when it reaches the triangle, you're supposed to be paying attention to it.
So, I remember being disappointed when I finally found out how it works, because it just wouldn't connect to me that there wouldn't be.
If you're diving,
yes,
and your life depends on it, you're going to look at that watch over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, you're going to be checking all the time. This is good for
travel. This is a good travel watch because not only is it an alarm, it has GMT. See the GMT in the middle there?
Oh, so that's the second time zone.
Hand, it has a second time zone dial.
Oh, so that shows you in the 24-hour configuration?
That's right.
Nice.
Legend Diver
Longines
is from them. This is a nice piece.
This is I highly recommend this watch to somebody. Like if somebody wants to get a diving watch, but they don't want to spend like Blank Pawn or Submariner money. They want to get something cheaper. This is probably like the best design.
Comes in other colors, lots of different straps and bands that you can get for it. No, pretty good.
This could be a great watch on the like a leather strap. Yeah. And the size on this thing is also really nice. It's very thin.
This is it's big though. It's 52 millimeters lug to lug, but they make they just came out with a 38 millimeter version without the date.
Oh my God! You can get even smaller.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. So there you go. If you want to get one, get this Longines. It's a great budget.
So they're roughly the same price of those two, and I think they're pretty comparable.
Yeah.
Quality wise.
Longines, they're trying to reclaim their reputation because they've been making so many crappy watches. Now they're just making better and better every single year. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with very soon.
Yeah, they're making some great stuff.
Wow.
Here's another diving watch. This is JLC Polaris Mariner, slightly different than the regular Polaris. And this one has, I'll show you, this has micro adjust on both sides. You see how it fits in there?
Oh, I see how it slides in. Okay.
Yeah, and it does, so you can do it on one side or the other or both.
Okay, it's like it's an easy link, like a Datejust. Actually, that one Explorer has the same type of easy link. The dial on this thing, it doesn't photograph well.
No, but it looks great in the light. It looks really nice.
It looks really nice, but it amazes me how like in the pictures, there's just something wrong with it. Whenever JLC takes pictures.
Agreed. Every picture I've seen is like, that's not really what the watch looks like.
Wow, and it's not that thick. I was worried that maybe these.
No,
things
it's just the shape. It's not really that thick. It just kind of looks it because it looks like a cylinder.
Yeah, even the movement is finished really well.
You know, like read about them and look at the pictures and all of that and have an opinion. But when you handle their watches, they're very fine pieces. And maybe they're not doing as well as some other brands, but they make nice things. I wanted a blue Milgauss, and I didn't want to spend gray market prices at the time. They were going for
15,000,
14,500, like that. It's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. And I saw this watch and I liked it a lot. And the gray market price and the retail were the same for months and months and months and months.
Oh, okay.
They're exactly the same. So I bought it from the boutique, and because of a bunch of errors they made, they ended up giving it to me for free.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They gave me the watch for free.
This watch?
That watch.
What is going on?
They sent me,
Incredible.
I ordered that watch.
Yeah.
They sent me the Memo Vox version. That watch with the mechanical alarm. So there's 3 crowns.
Like this one.
Like that, but also with a mechanical alarm. And I said, no, that's something, I don't want to keep that. That they made a mistake. Someone's going to get fired for that, because it's a much more expensive watch. So I called them and explained it to them, and they had me take pictures and show them the markings on the watch. Turns out, in the factory, they marked it as a Polaris Mariner date. This watch, but it wasn't. It was they mismarked it. So they marked a $11,000 watch as the part number, but it in fact was an $18,000 watch. So the inscription on the back of the watch with the reference number said it was this watch, but it wasn't. So they had me FedEx the watch back to them.
Yeah.
They gave me a credit. A week later, this watch came, and they never billed me.
Fascinating.
Here's another one that this watch, Tudor North Flag.
Now that's a very special watch.
That's the first watch they had, I think, with an in-house movement. And this watch was not very well liked. It's a substantial, well-made, nice piece. Very, very legible, chunky, good bracelet, good clasp.
And then you get this very interesting bezel construction. Now, what is that?
It's ceramic, black ceramic.
Ceramic, but there's a steel plate on top of it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting choice there. The bracelet, very nice. It's the standard.
It's a standard chunky Tudor bracelet.
Tudor bracelet, yeah. You can get EasyLink in here.
Yeah.
That would be nice to add in the future. The movement, it's got the classic Tudor rotor and actually really well finished movement. Looks bead blasted, but looks very nice. Very clean. Yeah, it's a nice watch. Well, why did you buy this watch? Well,
I like it.
You just liked it.
I buy what I like. I don't buy it. And there's no, if you look here, there's no hype pieces here.
No.
Nothing, not even close.
No.
I buy what I like. I don't buy what I don't like.
Tudor is putting in work. They're just making watches, and every watch they make is better. That's what is that? That's the Aquaterra.
Milgauss equivalent.
But this is 15,000 Gauss. Milgauss stands for 1,000 Gauss. I think there's a Hodinkee video or some kind of a video out there, and they actually tested the magnetic resistance of this watch versus the Milgauss, and they put it against like a 15,000 Gauss magnet, and both watches were fine.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Yeah,
I'm sure they were.
But it is cool to see.
I like the yellow and black.
The
second
bumblebee.
hand. I love the bumblebee hand. That's great.
Yeah, very nice, and it's got these vertical.
The vertical teak boards.
Yeah.
And open case back and pretty nicely finished. You know, nothing great, but pretty nice.
Well, when did you get this? Sorry.
Recently. Maybe a year.
What made you get this one? So you didn't get the Milgauss.
I didn't get the
Milgauss. You got.
I got the anti-Milgauss.
The anti-Milgauss.
This one is the anti-Milgauss.
You know what I want to get? At some point in the future, if those white Milgausses drop to 4,000 like they used to.
That's a nice piece. I like that. The orange markers.
Yeah.
I like that.
They were. I remember they were 3,500 on like eBay. They were unsellable, and then
now probably 11 for one of those, 10.5 for one of those.
Yeah, they're really. But they dropped. They were even higher.
Oh yeah, they were $15,000.
Yeah, well, outrageous.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, outrageous.
So, this is before the Explorer. That's the only Rolex. 2002. I got this from Watchfinder. It has good faded red. It's really nice. That's really nice.
The fade on the black versus the red is very. It's almost kind of the red becoming kind of pinkish, but it's not fully faded.
It's not,
out.
and it's not fully pink.
Yeah.
It's not like the pink ones. And if you look at the chamfers on the edges, I don't think this watch has been polished. I think it's just in good shape.
Looks very good. I don't know. I'm not very good at telling whether something was polished or not, but you know
see
what?
how the edge is all completely uniform. It's not one spot is not bigger or smaller than another spot.
Yeah, and actually there is a very sharp line between the polishing and the brushing. Yeah.
It's very good shape. I think there was a very reasonable, respectable deal on that. I'm very happy with that.
It's a beautiful watch. It's got some nice, substantial weight to it as well.
Came with box and papers.
Nice. And this has got hollow center links. It's got some nice sound to it. I love it. I love it. Wow. Beautiful. So that's the collection, right?
That's the collection.
That's the whole collection.
That's
incredible.
The whole
How many watches do you have here? Do you have a count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18
18 now.
So that's the collection.